there, this time we have true, false, not given. And there are 8 questions. And these 8 questions will actually clarify the concept of true, false, and not given. But you have to be attentive and alert to understand those things. Question number 6, significant numbers. Now, significant numbers, what does it mean? Large number. Significant numbers, large number of thylacines were killed by humans from 1830s onwards. Now look here, what do you have to find? If a large number of thylacines were killed by human after 1830s, answer is true. If they were killed due to another reason, maybe there was a disease or another predator killed them, then answer is false. And if they don't tell us the large number, whether they were killed by human or they were killed by a disease or a predator, then answer is not given. Okay, this is what we need to find. Now we go back and we look for 1830s. Second page, first paragraph, and there we find 1830s. Dramatic decline of thylacine in Tasmania, which began in 1830s and continued for a century, is generally attributed to the relentless efforts of sheep farmers and bounty hunters. Now, can you see double star with bounty hunters? Come down. Bounty hunters, people who are paid a reward for killing a wild animal. Like if you kill a tiger, you will get $10,000. They are called bounty hunters. So, sheep farmers and bounty hunters with shotguns. So, who killed? Okay, exactly. Now, let's read on. Just a second. Is generally attributed. Now, dramatic decline of thylacine, generally attributed to sheep farmers and bounty hunters. What does it mean? A significant number was killed by sheep farmers and bounty hunters, and they were human. Absolutely. So, what will be the answer? True. Very good. Significant number of thylacine were killed by human from 1830s onward. Good? Yeah? Okay. Question number 7. Several thylacine. Now, underline the word several. What is opposite of several? Now, several means many. What is the opposite of several? One. Several and one. Several or one. Yeah, two is, they also count it as several. 2, 3, 4, 5, they are several. But one is the opposite of several. Now, several thylacines were born in zoos during late 1800s. Now, if several thylacines were born in zoo, answer is true. If they were born in the wild, several were born in the wild, in the zoo only one was born, answer is false. And if they don't tell us several were born in the zoo or in the wild, then it is not given. Now look for the word zoo and 1800s. Second paragraph, second page of the passage, second paragraph. There was only one successful attempt to breed a thylacine in captivity. There was only one successful attempt to breed a thylacine in captivity. What's the question? Several thylacines were born in zoos. There was only one single attempt. So what's the answer? False. Right? If they would have said there were many successful examples to attempt and all that, then it could be true. But they said there was only one successful attempt. It means only one thylacine was born in the zoo, and that's it. Okay? So the question says several and the passage says one. That's why answer is false. Question number 8. John Gould's prediction. Now clue word is John Gould. John Gould was a naturalist. A person who studies nature is called naturalist. John Gould's prediction about thylacine surprised some biologists. Now John Gould was a biologist. His prediction about thylacine surprised some biologists. Now if his prediction surprised, answer is true. If his prediction was not surprising. They were expecting it already. Answer is false. And if they don't tell us about the element of surprise or they were expecting it, then answer is not given. Now let's go back. Same paragraph. Can you see famous naturalist John Gould? Very good. I'm reading from here. The famous naturalist John Gould foresaw. Foresaw means he predicted to see something before time. The thylacines' demise when he published his Mammals of Australia between 1848 and 1863, writing the numbers of this singular animal. This singular animal means thylacine. Will speedily diminish. Extermination will have its full sway, and it will then, like the wolf of England and Scotland, be recorded as an animal of the past. Any mention? Yeah, whether his prediction was astonishing, surprising, or expected. So answer is not given. Okay? All right. Let's go on. Question number 9. In the early 1900s, what is early 1900s? 1905, 1910, 20, up to 1925. That is what we call early 1900s. Okay? Many scientists became worried. Underline became worried. Now listen, if I say I am worried about you, and if I say or I say I am concerned about you, both are same. I am worried about your health, I am concerned about your health. Both have same meaning. Okay? Now, if many scientists became worried about the possible extinction of thylacine in 1900s, answer is true. If scientists were not concerned, what does it mean? They did not worry or they were not worried, then answer is false. And if they don't tell us whether scientists in early 1900s were concerned or not, then answer is not given. So let's go back. It's the second last paragraph. First line, however. Found it? Okay. However, there seems to have been limited public pressure to preserve the thylacine, nor was much concern expressed by scientists. So scientists were worried? No, because it's mentioned nor, N-O-R, nor was much concern expressed by scientists. So scientists were not worried. Answer is false. Let's go on. Question number 10. T.T. Flynn's proposal to rehome captive thylacine. Now T.T. Flynn is a clue word. And his proposal to rehome captive thylacine. Rehome means to send them back to the area where they once lived. That is what we call rehome. Captive thylacines on an island proved to be impractical. Now underline the word proved to be impractical. Now listen, impractical means something which is not possible to do or which is not practical. Impractical means not practical. Now listen, important point. If his proposal proved to be impractical, answer is true. If his proposal proved to be practical, answer is false. One thing. Second, if his proposal was proved, it can be true. If his proposal was not even proved, like they did not, actually they have no evidence. I mean, when did not approve something, it means they have no evidence, then answer will be false. Now we will focus only proved to be impractical. Let's go back. T.T. Flynn's. Where is he? Same paragraph, third line after full stop. Yeah, I'm reading it second line, sorry. A notable exception was T.T. Flynn's professor of biology at the University of Tasmania. In 1914, he was sufficiently concerned about the scarcity of thylacine to suggest, now be active, to suggest means to propose, okay, to suggest that some means thylacine, some thylacine, okay, to suggest that some should be captured and placed on a small island. He said some of them should be captured and placed on a small island. Now what is it? That was his proposal. Now what do we have to find? Whether his proposal proved to be impractical or proved to be practical. So let's go on. But it was not until 1929, with the species on the very edge of extinction, that Tasmanian's Animals and Birds Protection Board passed a motion and all that. Now listen, what was the proposal? To leave them on an island. Did they act upon that proposal? No. When they did not act upon the proposal, then we don't know whether the proposal was proved to be practical or not, because the proposal was not implemented. So that's why the evidence is not given. So answer will be not given. Very technical question, because that proposal was not actually given. That proposal was not proved. Why not proved? Because they did not implement the proposal. Let's go on. Question number 11. Okay, there were still reasonable numbers of thylacines. Underline reasonable number. Now, if I say there were 20 thylacines in the world, is that a reasonable number? 20 in the world. If I say there are only 20 sparrows in the world, is that a reasonable number? No. But if they say there were 5,000, 2,500, that is a reasonable number. Okay. Now they say there was still a reasonable number of thylacines in existence when a piece of legislation protecting the species during their breeding season was passed. Look here. They passed a law that during the breeding season of thylacine, people will not be allowed to kill them. Okay. Now if at that time the number of thylacine was reasonable, answer is true. If few were left when they passed the law, like only 20 thylacines were left when they passed the law, then answer will be false. And if they don't tell us about the number of thylacine, whether the number was a reasonable number or the number was very few, then answer will be not given. Now let's go back. Legislation, law and all that. Okay, second last paragraph, fifth line. But it was until 1929. Found it? This is the location. But it was not until 1929, with the species on the very edge of extinction. When one species is on the very edge of extinction, do they have reasonable number of that? No, it means unreasonable number. Okay, they said here, it was not until 1929, with the species on the very edge of extinction, like just few left, that Tasmania's Animal and Birds Protection Board passed a motion. Means they passed a law. Now tell me, number was reasonable? No. They were at the very edge of extinction. So answer will be false. Let's go on. Question number 12. From 1930 to 1936, the only known living thylacine were all in captivity. Encircle the word all. And in true, false, not given, yes, no, not given, they use all several times. Okay. Now listen. 1930 to 36, only known living thylacine. Only known means they knew that there is a living thylacine and they were all in captivity. In captivity means in the zoo. So if they were all in captivity, answer is true. If some were in the zoo and some were in the wild, answer is false. And if they don't tell us whether all were in captivity or they were not, then answer will be not given. Now all will decide the answer. Let's come back. Second last paragraph, and I'm reading it from fourth last line. The last known wild thylacine. Found it? Everyone? Okay. The last known wild thylacine to be killed was shot by a farmer in the northeast of Tasmania in 1930, leaving just captive specimen. Okay, then official protection of the species by Tasmanian government was introduced in July 1936, 59 days before the last known individual. Now before that, one was died by a farmer, and then the last known individual means thylacine, died in Hobart Zoo. Last known individual died in Hobart Zoo means all were in captivity, and all is only one was left because other were killed. So the only known living thylacine were all in captivity, and they said the last known. Now if one is left, that one is all, right? If I say all the students and there is only one student in the class, so that one is all. So answer is true. That was the other one. Come back. That was not in captivity. See, I'm reading this from the beginning. The last known wild thylacine. We are not talking about wild thylacine. We are talking about thylacine in captivity. In captivity means in the zoo. So first, the last thylacine in wild was shot by a farmer. And then the other one, only one was left. And that was in captivity. Okay, so for that they use the word the only living thylacine were all in captivity. All means only one was left, and that was in captivity. So it's just like that. Okay, once one of my relatives, he actually told all the family members, I topped in French language in Punjab University. In French language, I also did a diploma course in French, and all his relatives were literally impressed. Wow, he topped in Punjab University in French language, and that was a business French course, and there were 3 students. You got it? 3 students, and out of 3 students, he got highest marks, and he said, I topped in French language in Punjab University, entire Punjab University. Only one department of French, small department, and he said, in entire Punjab University, I topped. You understand now? One and all that. Okay, let's go on. Question number 13. Attempts to find living thylacine. Now attempts, they were searching to look for living thylacine, where they are. Attempts to find living thylacines are now rarely made. Now please focus. Now means present. Rarely means hardly ever. Rarely. Okay, not very often, hardly ever. So if at present they are rarely making attempts to find thylacine, answer is true. If the attempts are frequent, not rare, they are frequent, they are doing it again and again, then answer is false. And if they don't tell us whether at present are they looking for thylacine and their attempts are rare or not, then it is not given. Now please come to last paragraph. There have been numerous expeditions. Numerous expeditions means attempts. There have been numerous expeditions and searches for the thylacine over the years. What does it mean? Now they are not searching. Over the years there were. Okay, they use the word there have been numerous expeditions, means in the past they had them and now they have finished. Right? None of which has produced definitive evidence that thylacines still exist. The species was declared extinct by the Tasmanian government. Now, when the species was declared extinct and the last efforts were in the past, so about present, they have not told us anything. They did not mention that attempts to find living thylacines are now rarely made or now they are not made, because about present they did not tell us anything. They only told us about past. About present there is no information. So answer is not given, because there is no information about present. At present, are they searching or they are not searching? There is no information about that. That's why it's not given. I mean, look, it's going to be, and one more thing. When they said this thing, the species was declared extinct. Now, dinosaur has been declared extinct. So, will you say, I'm going to look for dinosaurs? I'll go to Gilgit or Sakardu, there I'll find dinosaurs and all. That's stupid, because it's declared as extinct. So, there is no piece of information that at present, whether the attempts are rarely made or hardly ever made and all that. That's why it's not given.